Hello, this is me, Samantha, and I am with the Legal Beagle. I am the Legal Beagle. And today I'm showing you the backyard. I'm giving you the insight of the forest and stuff. And I want to today I just want to give talk about a lot of cases that I'm doing, things that I'm doing, to give you an insight on how important it is for us to keep the fight up and to get empowerment and knowledge of what we're doing. Now I'm gonna say this, I am very passionate about this, and if you watch my videos, I am you know what, I didn't bring the fight to me, but I guarantee you that I am gonna do the fight. And since I don't have any sponsors, I want to thank all of you guys who donated, who contact me, who subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you. I hope I am empowering you so that when you do your case or know your rights, it's very important, okay? Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into this topic. I don't mind helping nobody, I promise you. Anybody that have called me in the past or the present, no, I am very passionate about it. I've had clients that got mad at me because I would do something in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning. I'm working on their case, and then all of a sudden I tell them I'm finished, or hey, I just want to let you know I'm working on it. I'm doing this and all that, and they get upset. But I take this very passionate and very serious because a lot of times people have deadlines, especially if they're in court and they're trying to find out what they need to do. They're in the deadline. And then you're working with experienced attorneys. You're working with some attorneys that this is all they do all day long. And so with that being said, they know the ins and outs of the court. It's you that's having this issue with a creditor or somebody that you are looking at how to get out of it. And then when you get out of it, you're going to go on. You're not going to do it again as, you're not going to keep it up, or you're not going to make a career out of it. So with that being said, when you hire somebody to do your work, or you trying to contact with somebody to help you with your case, be considerate. I'm gonna say this, be considerate. Donate to their channel, or to, give them something for their time. Don't just sit there and say thank you and then that's it, because see, that makes them not want to help you. Because I'm not gonna lie, the cost here, I got 2 cases that's getting ready to go to that I'm getting ready to submit to the Supreme Court, and I promise you, the amount is a lot. And it's gonna benefit you, is dealing with a creditor. And one thing about it is that, like I said, you got to consider that, I'm pro se. I got to come up with paper. I don't have, I had to, all this equipment that I buy, even if I'm helping somebody else, the point is that it's a lot. It takes a lot. And especially if you're dealing with credit acceptance, which I later found out that, I didn't have the right format. That's the reason why they didn't hear my case. So I invested a little bit more money into this, and I got the format of how to do the Supreme Court case. So that is a positive thing that I can share. But the thing about it is that, when somebody take their time to sit down and talk to you about your case and be honest, it may not be what you want to hear, but at least they're honest with you. They're gonna tell you. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I have a situation now, another situation where this person had an EEOC letter. He filed a case in 1999. 2020 came up. They dismissed it. Here it is. 2 years later, going on 3 years. And he's telling me that he's trying to go back and redo his case on EEOC. Well, if you know EEOC letters are not designed for 2 or 3 years. They're for 90 days. 90 days. Now, if you want to stretch that 90 days, what you do is you file in state court and go through all the process of the state court, then take it from state court to federal court. That's how you, and then he could have said, well, I had a case in 2019, and then I turned around and I did all my stuff in state court. Now I'm going to federal court, but it seemed like to me he did all of that in state court and in federal court. Federal court did it in he went to the state Supreme Court. Then he went to the federal court, the lower level. They gave him an answer, but the wording that he said was very crucial. You know, people don't like to hear racist rants, and that's what a lot of times people who are alleging race discrimination say: racist rants, white only. They back good old boy stuff. You can't say that in court. It's a way you have to say it and word it. You got to word it, but you can't say, you can word it, you can say it that way, but you can't word it that way. And a lot of people go in there and then they wonder why. Because see, you saying it on race discrimination, but you making the same race discrimination to somebody else. So, you know, a lot of, like I said, it's just you got to be careful. So, you know, when people call me and stuff, I may say, you know, hey, donate to my channel, donate to the cause so that I can help somebody, something like that. But I get a lot of people that want my brain, but they don't want to donate. They don't want to give a dime. They want that free service. And see, I'm going to tell you how that makes it. That makes it where, you know what, I don't want to go out that way. Because I'm going to tell you, when I tell you I work. If I call you and I'm talking to you, I have taken some valuable time out of my situation or my, you know, helping somebody to help you. And it doesn't hurt to donate. Even if you say, well, you know what, I'm going to donate $5. $5 can buy me some paper. $5 can buy me some pens, some pencils, you know, some stamps. Something that I can help somebody else do, you know, help them with their case, okay? So that's the reason why I say that. Now, another thing that I tell everybody, like right now, I found out something that, you know, I wish I had learned before then. And I had a case, and if y'all knew, it was with credit acceptance. Well, I was about to get into the Supreme Court, but I found out that the format was wrong. The case was great. The format was wrong. As a result of that, they denied it. So this year, I'm going again, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going and what I'm going into. And I went and I purchased the template for the Supreme Court, how to do a brief. Because I'm going to tell you, I wanted to do it on my word, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't trust it. I didn't want to doubt myself. So to be doubtful, I'd rather, you know, get something and pay for it than sit here and say, well, you know what, I'm a chance it. I don't want to chance it no more. So I went and got that. And so my Supreme Court brief is going in two parts. Is going toward Equifax. Now, I'm going to be honest. Anybody that's in that Equifax breach, I tell you, that settlement is a joke all the way. If them attorneys ain't trying to get the money, they already got paid. They already got billions of dollars to get that to get paid. They already got that. But then now, they, you know, like with me, I kept receipts. I kept receipts all the way from 2017 all the way to now, today. They had to extend the claim because, you know, people were still trying to fix their credit 5 years out there. But, you know, and they're not saying that they was damaged, but they're just saying it. So that the data breach doesn't deal with the damages. It just deal with you trying to fix your credit. Well, you know, a lot of people, there's a few people who was actually damaged by this. Me in particular. Somebody got my maiden name and my married name, and they ran up credit on my maiden name, and then Equifax was so nice to merge it with my married name, so I couldn't prove who I was. And this went on for 5 years. And I can tell you, if you had bad credit, you know what? I could have sympathized with those who had bad credit. Because at least that was their credit, and it was bad, and it was theirs, and they was able to see it and deal with that. But when somebody get credit in your name, and then the credit reporting agency, even, my name, I was that person, but my legal name has been changed. So when somebody do something like that, you say, well, dog, they getting credit and I can't get it. Makes no sense. So I spent 5 years trying to fix my credit, and during the process, I got denied things, turned down things. So before I filed anything against Equifax, I had to ask to make sure that the breach didn't cover any damages. So and I'm just giving y'all a snippet of the case. So anyway, I filed against Equifax. I didn't get no peon lawyers, and we talked about that. The associates are the peons, the counsel, corporate lawyers, senior, all of that. Them the wigs. Them the ones that make the decisions. Them the ones that they get when you have pleaded a well pleaded case. So anyway, so I got their law firm and this law firm, and I tell you, when I didn't agree to dismiss the case for $1,000, they turned around and obtained my credit. They wanted me they wanted me to settle for $1,000, and when I didn't, they turned around and they took control of my credit. And they put some stuff on there and had some stuff on there, and they changed my password and my username, and I couldn't get it. I sending it through they email, through their personal email on the job. Oh, it was scandalous. Then when I told them that they were impersonating the credit bureau and I filed a lawsuit against them, then they gave me back my credit. But it shouldn't have went that far. Well, that's why I'm in the Supreme Court. Well, the Supreme Court says, and that's the reason why. It's only certain people that are supposed to, have a legal right to access your credit. And that is if an attorney who's a creditor, who's a debtor, a debt collector, a creditor who's a debt collector has a right to get your credit. They have a right. People who are, if you're applying for an employment, but in certain states that's prohibited, they have that right. Anybody that's using your credit for one purpose, and that is to determine it, they have that access. But not everybody have the access to your credit. Attorneys who's in litigation with a credit reporting act and they're defending them does not have a legal right to get your credit. And if you notice in the data breach, they never got any one of these people credits to show that they had been damaged. They had to take the attorney's word. Okay. So, so my claim is that why did they do that? Oh, they put some stuff on my credit that outdated information and had it with wrong phone numbers. But see, had they never touched my credit, it wouldn't have never got to that point. So they had it liable. So I was reading this case, and it comes from Georgia. And I'm going to tell you the law about it. It's called 18 U.S.C. 1030. Let me repeat that again. It's called 18 U.S.C. 1030. You can look it up now. Now, anything I tell you, now I'm not a lawyer when I say this, so I'm not giving you no legal advice. But anything I tell you, you can research it yourself, okay? Now, that case, that federal code was used against a Georgia cop, and the name of the case is called Van Buren versus United States. And this is where it goes. The Georgia police officer, he had access to the computer. He had legal access to the computer, but he misused it. He was looking up license plates for people and charging a fee. So the state of Georgia filed charges with him as a felon. and said that he did something illegal. And this case went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And what happened was it ended up because the question was, did he do something illegal? Now, yeah, it was unethical, and it was a misuse that he took his own credentials and used it as a personal means to make money, but they talk about the authorization and what it is. So that's just like, give you a good example. That's just like, I got a friend that works at the IRS, and I tell her, I say, you know what? I'm in a divorce proceeding, but I need his W-2 forms to really get him, because I want to get him. I know he got property and all of that, but I can't prove it. And she said, okay, Samantha, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a copy of his tax return. She give it to me, and I go to court, and I throw him, look, I got all your tax returns. Okay, my friend just created a criminal. She just made a criminal act, because that's what that Computer Fraud and Abuse Act covers. When somebody take that, what they have access for, and use it for personal use or misuse it. Now here's the question that you have to bring to the Supreme Court, that I'm bringing. Their attorneys didn't have that. Their attorneys did not have no legal standing to obtain my credit. So therefore, if anybody, not only should they not only are they criminals, but everybody at Equifax should be, who gave them permission to do it, should be charged as well. Because think about it now. If they used my credit, and they used it with a personal email. That made it even worse, because now I'm a greater potential of getting hacked, because they had access to my credit report, and they should have been charged as a felon. The United States, the court should have turned it over to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General, because it became a criminal matter once Equifax gave them my credit. So yeah, so that's why I'm going to Supreme Court. Now the second part I'm going to Supreme Court is at the actual attorneys, because now they're saying that they didn't do nothing. The district court and the appellate court says they didn't do nothing wrong. That they used a case that says that I have no standing. I have no legal right to ask for that. And the case that they used said as if I was an inmate. You see that color, don't you? Inmate. That was my wrinkled hand with no lotion. Yes, it was. So the question is that, so you're saying that because I'm an economic disadvantage, that I should be treated like an inmate? That my credit, I have no legal standing to protect my rights in court. So this is going to be interesting. I promise you, this is going to be interesting. And I got until November the 20th to turn it in. But you know, Samantha, I'm going to meet that deadline. I'm going to meet that deadline on both of them. But the thing is that, like I said, how this affects you as a consumer. Because now it says that anybody, you know what, if I sue TransUnion, somebody sue TransUnion now can get somebody's credit, because the appellate court have affirmed that. So now somebody can get somebody's credit, or the credit reporting agency can bypass Congress laws and get your credit report and start using it to force you to settle with them, or to make your life so miserable in the process that that they can basically ruin your life. They can put anything on your credit. I want you to think about that. And I want your comments. I really do. I want your comments, because like I said, I feel like if like I said, if this is allowed to happen, I guarantee you, if the court is allowing this to happen, then 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 right now, then anybody can be vulnerable. Anybody. This is gonna be a trend. It's gonna be a trend, because it's gonna start saying that, you know what we're doing is we're gonna oppress somebody to the point where we destroy their life with their credit in order for us to win a case. Credit bureaus are not, they're governed by the government, but they're not part of the government. You got to realize that. The credit bureaus are for profit, because they get I'm going to tell you how they get it. They get your information through LexisNexis. That's a research thing. And I'm going to tell you, I've had to call LexisNexis many times to get stuff off in order for them to send it to the credit bureau. Now, LexisNexis buys your information. No, they get your information, and then the credit bureaus buy it. They buy it now, and then they sell it to whoever. They sell it. That's how they make their money. They sell your information to other people. When you apply for a loan, when you apply for this. And you got to remember, Equifax deals with house loans. They deal with car loans. They do not deal with they don't deal with credit cards. That's TransUnion and Experian. Equifax deals with how you're going to get a car, what kind of car you get, what kind of house you can afford, all of that. Now just imagine if your credit is so messed up, or you got information, or you got two credit reports, one in this name and one in that one. And then you apply for something and get turned down. Have you ever been embarrassed to being turned down for credit? Oh my goodness, I tell you, that's just like somebody just putting a dunce on your head. I've had that happen, especially during the data breach. When they apply for me a car, I'm thinking I'm gonna get the Jeep that I really, really wanted. Oh my goodness. I had already named it and said what color I was gonna get, the seats and all of that, and what floor mats and all of that. Man, they came back and told me my credit score was, what is it, 495. Then turned around and told me that I had 2 credit names. I need which one? I was creating identity theft. And when I told her, look here, wait a minute, hold on. I got ain't no shame in my game. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I showed her my Experian and I showed her my TransUnion, Shoot, they didn't want to hear that. They were looking at, they were looking at Equifax. And that's the shame that you have to go through. That's the shame that you have to go through. So, I want you to tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. And remember, y'all, I value you guys. I have a Facebook page, How to Win, Pro Say How to Win in Court. And like I said, I hope that this empower you. Know your rights. That's all I'm gonna say. Know your rights, because you know what? I can tell you some stories how when people think you don't know your rights, they write anything on paper, because they don't think one thing. They don't think you're gonna go research what they see. They don't think that you're gonna go and dig a little deeper into your case. And then they don't think you're gonna spend any time on your case. So they tell you something to brush your way, to get you out the way, to make you feel like they gave you the appearance of justice. They gave you the appearance. And then you go and say, well, and like I said, that's why I tell everybody, if you ain't never wrote a brief or a motion or something in your life, go get somebody who can do it. Don't just get anybody. I have more people research legal. I have more people research me what I'm doing than research their whole case. They more worried about, am I gonna get their money, than to research their own case. Tell the truth, shame the devil. You put that time in. put that time in. I got people that contact me all over this country, asking me things, wanting to know things, want my help. I can back up what I say. I can back up what I do. But you have so many people today, you have so many people that I promise you, they can tell you where I was born, but then when you know, and then they go and they want to quote cases to you, but then when you tell them, you know, when you ask some questions that may be technical, that'll help them. Two guys, I tell them, time limit, time frame, statute of limitation on time. I can argue with them. I had to get off the phone. I had to get off the email. I'm sitting here telling them about time limitation, how important deadlines and all of that. Y'all heard me talk about it? And they citing cases. You can cite the Bible, but if you ain't doing it in a limited time, that's a technicality, and they'll dismiss it. You can't just sit there and say, well, 2 years, well, I've been busy. You know what? 2 years, I be broke. I've been unemployed. Haven't had no money. Haven't had no car. Pinky, don't you start that. Pinky, see somebody. And I have had it where I have been in a bad situation. But at the same time, I know that, you know what, the court is not going to understand that. They're not going to care. They're doing what they need to do. Dismiss the case or let it go on or do that. So this is something that you need to think about when you're doing what you're doing. I thank you guys. I thank you guys for listening to me, and just tell me what you think. And you guys have a great, great day.